hunting for an alien. Welcome, everybody, to my review of A Quiet Place, Day 1. How did it all start? Where did the creatures come from? What exciting answers are we going to get from the prequel that nobody knew was coming? The absolute banger of a first film, A Quiet Place, a spin-off in the Quiet Place universe, because everybody needs a fucking connected universe. So, let's talk about the third installment of John Krasinski's story, along with Michael Sarnowski, The Quiet Place, Day 1. This is the touchdown, the doomsday, the day the world went quiet. And I've got a lot of good things. I've got a lot of bad things. So let's jump right into this. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a background, and I'll tell you a little bit about what the story is about. This is a non-spoiler review, so there will be no spoilers in here. If you've seen the movie, when you comment, please don't put spoilers in the comment section. Just your general thoughts. So A Quiet Place Day 1 stars Lupita Nyong'o, Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things fame. My boy Eddie is in this. We've got Alex Wolff from, of course, one of my favorite movies, Pig and Hereditary. We have Jaman Usa, who, if you guys don't know, he is the dude from A Quiet Place 2. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The rest of the people aren't worth listing on here because they're just like extras. And so A Quiet Place 2, or A Quiet Place Day 1, the prequel, takes place in the events as the alien invasion happens. So we follow the story of Lupita Nyong'o's character, Sam, who is terminally ill cancer patient, and she is dying. And in one of the coolest pet names ever conceived, she has a service cat by the name of Frodo. And when shit goes down, she is in Manhattan. So this takes place in a larger city, which has potential to have a lot more violent, visceral deaths and shit like that. When the meteors fall to the earth and the creatures come, this tells the story of what happens to everybody. So let me start off the bat with some of my positives for this movie. First of all, Lupita Nyong'o as Sam and Joseph Quinn as Eric have excellent chemistry together. And this is super important because Lupita Nyong'o and Joseph Quinn are the two leads of this movie, and you follow a good majority of their struggle in this film. So if you do not have a connection with these two leads, the movie doesn't work. And I think that once again, this movie does a great thing of people acting and pulling the best out of actors. Lupita Nyong'o has fastly become one of my favorite actresses. She killed it in Us. She has done a lot of other different projects, and I think she's a very good actress. Joseph Quinn, my boy Eddie from Stranger Things, bro can act. He was the highlight for me in Stranger Things 4, and he's no different in this. The chemistry between him and Lupita is off the charts awesome. Alex Wolff is also very good in this. He plays kind of a scumbag character named Ruben. And Juman Hassan, who, if you saw the first Quiet Things, the big black dude, he's in this. As Henry, he has a very, very small role in this. So he's not really a factor. And then the rest of the people act pretty decently. Hello, the Art of 13. How are you? So I just want to dive into my positives. First off, visually, this film is fucking immaculate, as the Quiet Place movies are. Hey, KH, good to see you. So this is shot very immaculately. The soundtrack and the score is epic. The creatures and the way that they sound is more pronounced because there's so many of them in this movie, that the scare is really hearing the creatures and knowing, oh shit, some people are going to get fucked up. Also, too, for a PG-13 movie, lots of people get fucked up in this movie. Like, they stretched the PG-13 line. Hey, how you doing, Carmel? Good to see you. Love to have you here. Thank you for popping in. Enjoy my non-spoiler review of Quiet Place Day One. So the soundscape is very good in this. Also, like I said, Sam as a main character is a very good character to follow. She has this goal that she's trying to get to, and it would seem ridiculous unless you understood where she was coming from. And if you're going to have a goal that doesn't seem logical, it's up to the actors and actresses to sell you that people would follow her to this specific point in order to have whatever's going to happen. And I know I'm being vague. It's because this movie just came out. So I'm not going to tell you what it is, but any person who was doing this kind of a goal, you would question them. But Lupita Nyong'o is an amazing actress, and the whole cancer thing, she really sells that she's got to do this, that they got to follow her. And I think that helps in you buying into the whole premise of the movie, which is trying to get from point A to point B. Now, another great thing that I liked was the fact of watching the creatures in all of their glory. When you see A Quiet Place 1 or 2, you only get a couple of creatures. It's almost like they keep them kind of separate. You don't get a lot. You just get hints. Sometimes you see them fucking people up, but this one is a massive amount. Like, shit goes down right away. And to be honest, there's CGI mixed with practical, and I think it works really well. There's a shit ton. You could tell a lot of them are probably CGI, but there are some practical makeup effects in there, and it looks clean. And I don't mean like it looks CGI. I mean, the creatures don't look as CGI as they could look, which makes them feel real. They put dirt on them and shit like that because they crash into the ground in these meteors and come out of the ground, so they give them that look like not completely polished, and I think that helps the film. Another plus for this is it's in New York, and if you guys know my history, I come from New York, and it is shot in New York, and I know some of the places that they shot at, like some of the corners and shit like that. They shot very much downtown Manhattan and into the outskirts, going almost into upstate New York. So I appreciated all of the visuals that were very accurate to where they were. This wasn't a sound stage. They didn't green screen shit. They shot on location for some of these particular scenes, and I appreciate that. And the final positive is the resolution of this film is gut-wrenching, and I'm going to leave it at that. Now, I'm not giving spoilers away, and this goes into my negatives, and I'll get into them in just a second, but you kind of know where this story is going, and you kind of know what's going to happen. I'm sure that's not a spoiler. This is called Day One, and you're following completely different people. I mean, come on. This isn't ruining anything. You know what's going to happen. You know the eventual outcome. But I'm not going to spoil what happens, because they do something that I didn't expect from a prequel, and I appreciate that, which I think the ending it puts a really poignant punch on the ending, knowing, and it kind of gets me excited for A Quiet Place 3 to see if some of the things they introduce in this movie are going to be brought into A Quiet Place thing. Now, I imagine, being that this takes place in the universe, some things are going to be brought up that are brought up here. And now to my negatives. And my first negative is the cat. I said it's a positive because his name is fucking Frodo, and he's a service cat. Fucking cool. What pisses me off about this is this fucking cat is more intelligent than the fucking humans, okay? I swear to God, there's a scene, right, where, and I'm not spoiling anything, this is in the beginning of the movie, Lupita Nyong'o, Sam is her name in the film, so I'm just going to call her Sam. Sam, has a crater fall right next to her. It gets knocked out. She fucking pulls the cat out, who's alive, even though these fucking creatures came from nowhere and they're coming out of these fucking craters. But they happen to get the one creature who was, I guess, waking up slowly. And grabs the cat, and she's just like in fear. So she's not making any sounds. And then you see that walk past her. And the fucking cat doesn't make any noises. And now I could buy this once, but this fucking cat is on a level of intelligence like I have never seen. Literally, there's a couple of parts where we're walking with the group and the fucking cat is being quiet and the fucking morons who are humans are fucking making goddamn noise, even though they're starting to get the hint of how you get past these things. And so I kind of call bullshit on this. Like, I had a cat. I know people who are cat lovers. I'm a dog lover personally, but I know cats and they get pissy and whatnot. It doesn't hiss or meow or do anything towards these creatures. It's just like when she goes silent, the cat's like, don't worry, bro. I got you. I ain't going to say nothing. Just glares. I was like, I like, maybe this is small, but it kind of fucking breaks my immersion because I go, I don't buy it. I don't believe you, cat. I don't think you'd be this fucking quiet. No hissing, no trying to paw at something, nothing. Like, the cat is fucking sentient. Dude, the cat is a better fucking human than the humans. Like, I don't know. Cat lovers in the comments, you can let me know. I know it's a small thing, and I wanted to start with the stupidest thing first, but it just kind of made me feel like with dogs and cats and shit, it was established even the fucking birds were wiped out because there's no sounds in the first Quiet Place. So I don't know if I buy that fucking Frodo would be that guy. I'm sorry, all you Frodo lovers or anybody who loves a fucking cat, if I offended you. I apologize, but I don't, because I don't fucking buy it. I don't believe a fucking cat would be that quiet. Like, come on. Pet owners out there, back me up here. I know dogs are fucked, because dogs gotta bark right a fucking way, but a cat, I don't buy they'd be safe either. Maybe because they walk quietly, they seem pretty intelligent, but it's that age-old debate, so I don't know. But I found it bullshit. The cat was a mime. Yeah, that's what it felt like. That fucking cat. Dude, some of the scenes in this with this cat, I was just like, yeah, okay. The cat's got plot armor, and I get it. One of the horror movie sins is like killing a pet, and the cat's adorable. I'm not going to hate. Frodo was that dude, but I still don't buy that Frodo would be that fucking silent. My other big issue that I had, and this is a huge one for a prequel. Now, we're getting in the nitty-gritty. No spoilers, but I will say, if you are expecting to find out shit about these creatures, you will know about as much as you knew going in, which bugs me because A Quiet Place, day one, right? The first fucking day. Look, you don't got to give me the physiology of the creatures or how they work. We got that in Quiet Place 1 and 2 vaguely, okay? But there is like nothing still. And we are 3 movies in. There is like, why are they here? What was their planet like? Like, how can they survive in Earth's atmosphere? Is their planet close to ours? How are they so intelligent? Like, are they more alien or are they kind of predator? You get what I'm saying? Are they more feral? Because they come off as feral, but then in this movie, they make legitimate, sentient, smart choices. The fucking thing opens up a door. So I'm confused on the intelligence or are these based animals or are they intelligent life or is it a mixture of both? Like, are we going the aliens route where, yeah, they're animals, but they do kind of learn? Like, and I'm not saying one of my favorite movies is Cloverfield. And like, even J.J. Abrams, who doesn't explain shit for the sake of not explaining shit, gives you a definitive, if you watch the movie and you watch the deleted scenes and all that, and like look at the lore, he gives you a definitive answer to where the creature came from. It was underneath the sea. They were digging shit and they hit a rock bed and the creature was underneath there. So I mean, there's answers, but this movie as a third movie doesn't answer shit. And my other problem is the same problem that prequels all have, which is that it gives us characters that in the overall scheme of things, you're not going into expecting to live, which deflates the tension because you haven't seen any of these fucking characters in the Quiet Place movies. So you look at these people as audience members and you go, well, what's the fucking point? Because I didn't see this person. The only person you know is going to survive is that black dude who's in here, Henry, because he was in the second movie. So you know he doesn't die in this film. But it's like, if you're going to build out a universe, I think it would have been better to maybe explore John Krasinski's family a little bit more and get into the day, because there's time jumps in A Quiet Place 1 where you could get into the day they found out you couldn't make noise, and then the day before they lost their son leading up to the events of the first movie. I think would have been a better way to go. But us following three random characters that we've never been introduced to, and don't get me wrong, the actors sell the performance. Like, I legitimately gave a shit about the main three. I cared about them. That wasn't my issue. My issue is I've seen the other two movies, so I know where this goes. And it kind of ruins the tension that the movie builds up on who's going to live and who's going to die, because you haven't seen these fucking people. Now, that being said, like I said, this is non-spoilers. The movie redeems itself, but not really. And I'm going to leave it at that. And it doesn't make it feel wasted because Lupita Nyong'o is an excellent actress, but it does kind of make you go, what the fuck was the point of a prequel if you're not really, like, they could have went into Cillian Murphy's character, they could have went to Henry more and how he got to that safe place in Quiet Place 2. They could have went into all of these side characters we got introduced that we know are in the world and still in the world. And they chose like three fucking random people in New York City. And I really need to see A Quiet Place 3 to see if this movie justifies being made, to be quite honest. And that's not to say that it's bad, because you'll see by my score. I'm just saying I reserve giving this a super high score till I know the movie, that the next movie and where they're going with that, where they are going with this setup. Because if the setup in this movie goes absolutely fucking nowhere, then it's going to kind of feel like this is a waste of time. And yes, there are government officials. So let me get into, like I said, this is non-spoilers, but I will say the government plays a part in this movie. And this is my other negative. Thank you, Carmel, because I was going to get to this. How they learn about they have to be quiet pissed me off, because it was the most cheap, contrived way to do it. So this helicopter comes and flies by, which I am assuming is what's left of the government, and says, everybody out there, stay indoors. If you have to go outside, it is imperative you do not make loud noises and sudden movements. We are currently working on the situation. We have ideas, but in the meantime, we will send help your way. Stay indoors. Like that kind of a deal. And I'm like, fucking really? Come on. Like, the writing is so good up until that point. And I'm not going to hate on it. This has really good writing. There's really good shit in this movie, as I said in the beginning of my review. But I got to nitpick this, because I got to be objective. And objectively, it's fucking lazy. That's the laziest way to set up how people learned how to be quiet. Like, and I get it. Okay, maybe in New York they do that. But how the fuck did the rest of the world find that out? because we go to the Quiet Place 1 and 2, and people across in fucking Texas and wherever the fuck they travel in number 2 knew to be quiet. Now, I could buy that because Henry makes an appearance in this movie, and he could have traveled across and told his people, like, hey, shut the fuck up, and the creatures can't hear you. But even he knew to be quiet before the announcement, so how the fuck did he know? They don't tell you. And that annoys the shit out of me. And it's such an easy thing to fix. All you have to do is have a scene with people fucking panicked, and then someone doesn't say anything, and the creatures pass by, and boom, there you go. You have your explanation. Like, it's so lazy. Like, they were writing this, and they said, oh, shit, I guess we have to explain how people know to not make a noise. Like, I'm sorry, that like knocks a point off for me because it's just so unoriginal by two great writers, and it felt like a throwaway thing. Like, that's the crux of your movie. Literally, it's called A Quiet Place. Your whole fucking film for like 3 movies hinges on the premise of not making noise. So if you come up with a concept like this, you gotta have a cool fucking jump pad into how you came up with this idea, and it felt like they never intended to go this far back, so they didn't have an answer for how the fuck all these people would know to be quiet, because it was a self-contained movie. And now that you've opened up the world, well, now you gotta explain, why are people quiet? Where did the creatures come from? Where did the first attack happen? Why did they happen simultaneous? Was it just this one place that all the creatures moved? Like, it kind of opens the door into creating plot holes in an otherwise pretty stellar 2 sets of movies. And it's a little weird. But with that being said, I will say this. I have to think outside of the box when I do reviews. I have to be critical because there's a lot of fucking horror movies coming out. And I was anticipating this, and I'm not disappointed, but I am telling you as somebody who has to look at the movie objectively and just say gripes that people might honestly feel. And I know I'm not the only person who's going to pick this shit out. So I have to be objective with that and just can't come in here and go, fucking awesome, baby, let's go, 10 out of 10, because it's not. It's good. It's better than half the shit out. It's part of this universe that gives it credibility over other movies. But if this was an original IP and not attached to A Quiet Place, does it justify its existence? Yes. It was entertaining as shit. I enjoyed it. All my nitpicking aside, I have to be super critical because I've got tons of great movies coming out. And I have a top 10 list to make, and if something doesn't make the top 10 list, it's going to be for stupid mistakes like that. But that's not to say this movie is shit, because it's not. It was entertaining. It was scary. Warning, there are 2 jump scares. One is properly set up. The second one is just to see if you're awake. I don't fucking know. You know how I feel about jump scares. And most importantly, I want to highlight this movie ain't 2 hours. Thank you. It's like an hour 47, hour 48, somewhere in there. Thank you. This movie knows exactly what it is. It keeps it in a pocket. And therefore, the biggest positive is the pacing of this movie. There is one slow portion, and then we don't fuck around. We get right into it. And I appreciate that. Like, I appreciate the movie didn't drag its ass. So even though I had issues, it never gave me time to really focus in on the negatives. And so when I came out, I was still satisfied, and I only had to give you guys, like, I had to rethink about it and look at my notes to be like, okay, this pissed me off or whatever. But my initial reaction was it was a good movie. It was solid. I did not waste my money. And what more can you ask for? I'm going to give A Quiet Place Day 1 a 7 out of 10. I think this movie is great for what it is. I think it's fine for being the third. It's quite impressive, actually, that these are still entertaining. I just think that going forward, they need to end this. Don't it flesh this? Like, we need a solid balls to the wall, crazy ass last movie. Like, I'm hoping Quiet Place 3 is going to be like, bam, let's go. Take on these alien fuckers, like, head to head. Everything we've been building for these, like, 3 movies just finally comes together. And maybe do a spinoff about Henry, because I really like his character. But, like, I think that it's time. This universe has been great. It's had its run, but I feel like if they go too far, they're going to stretch this story and they're just going to ruin what otherwise to me was one of the best movies that was made, and one of the most unique premises that anyone's thought about. So I'm hoping that A Quiet Place 3, they're going to end it, they're going to cut it off, they're going to give us a satisfying conclusion. But go see Day One. I think it's a good watch. I think it's pretty decent for everything else that's coming out there. Later, I will be doing a review on Ki Chak, which is an Indian movie that is a cross between Dune and Star Wars. You heard me right. Indian Star Wars, let's go. I can't wait to bring you guys that review. I literally saved money to go and see this film, so I'm super fucking excited. A dance number with lightsabers, fuck yes. I can't wait. Disney, take notes. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let me know, what do you think? Have you seen this movie? If you haven't seen this movie, do you like A Quiet Place 1 or 2? Do you like them both? Do you think 2 was kind of and what horror movie are you looking forward to? I am looking forward to Nosferatu by Robert Eggers and the new Nicolas Cage horror movie, Long Legs. That's like one of my most anticipated films of this year. We also got Maxine and Terrifier 3. So horror fans are eating lovely. We have so much coming out. But yeah, let me know, what movie are you looking forward to? And what is the best movie so far you've seen of 2024? Thank you very much. And as always, remember, there is only one rule here in the Phantom Zone. Kneel before General Sa.